We really putting on right now. I didn't even know it was like that. I was just sitting up chilling at the crib today.
Oh, word?
Yeah,
you looking very St. Louis-ish.
Yeah. So same to you. I see you right there.
Oh, man, it's good to see you. You hanging out? How you behaving out here during these times, the pandemic and everything?
Yeah, I'm just letting it go. I'm just letting it go, man. I'm just being grown with it, man. I ain't got no Beijing going. Ain't no nothing. Just let it happen.
They say all the stores are out right now.
Yeah. They feel like something about to jump back off. The bros going back in, ready to get back popping.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Cedric the Entertainer, one of the original kings of comedy, one of St. Louis' finest, and my big brother. I gotta say that. We're gonna throw that out there. First off, I always want to say thank you. I always say that to you when I see you, because you were one of the first ones that believed in me and my first project. You hopped on my first project and you made it legendary, not just for me, but for the rest of my family, the rest of the St. Lunatics, and you put on for St. Louis. And I always tell you thank you, because I mean that. And you my inspiration, big bro, and you keep us going. So love. One of the original kings of comedy in the building. Congratulations on the neighborhood.
Thank you, man. No, that's dope. And that's dope. I always tell that story because that's one of those y'all a great example of that ideology of when somebody seemed like they trying to break up the group. And I remember like everybody was like, because they wanted to sign you first without the Lunatics, and and it was this whole thing where everybody thought it was good. And I remember talking to the guys like, hey man, like Nelly, he got y'all. Like that's the way it's gonna be sometime. And you gotta admit that you a star. You always been a star, but some of these things just got to be true to people, man. Like even when you be in your own group, you gotta recognize like this dude's the star, man. So Michael Jackson was gonna lead Tito them one day. I mean, not saying like there's a brother, but not as a brother, but he definitely was gonna get a better parking space at the crib.
Yo, crazy, bro. Yo, thank you. That means so much coming from you, man. And again, I really would say that even though you do comedy and we do music, we probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your inspiration, though, bro. We don't get a lot of us that come from this city and get a chance to make it on that level. On the level across the board and being at the top of what we do. And like I said, again, you being an original kings of comedy and we being able to do what we did in music, I think it's just inspiration for the city.
No, that's real, man. You were talking about that earlier because St. Louis was definitely one of them kind of cities where it was people like, we had people that like kind of like made different stardom, but we knew the athletes as the big people in our town before like me and you came along. I mean, of course, you had like Angela Winbush, and you can name off Phil Perry, you can name off a lot of people that had like little pops, but when that real like big fame before me and you for sure, it was the athletes. That's who we knew in our town as the people that was out there getting down. So we definitely had a lot of love for all of the athletes that should be through the city in St. Louis. They was our guys. I was sitting
they had all the girls.
I was just gonna say that. I was sitting there I played golf with Dave Justice. David Justice, he was talking about the Adams Mark downtown, like where the baseball players used to stay, and they had that little club in the Adams Mark. We knew.
We're here to talk about the '98 season.
All right.
We're here to talk about the '98 season, long gone. Long gone summer, which Big Mac, Mark McGuire,
Sammy Sosa,
and the record-breaking season that they had, magical season that they had with Mark McGuire breaking the record and Sammy following right behind him and both of them chasing. Do you remember anything about that season that kind of stood out a little bit to you personally? I mean, you know what I mean? Because again, '98, you were already doing what you were doing. I wasn't doing it, but I know you were basically in stride.
Yeah. I was pretty much in stride right then, and just doing that year. Of course, we had to. St. Louis was always been a big baseball town, so that was one of them situations where when Mark McGuire was getting down, the team was popping, the home runs. It was just a big time for baseball, and it was bringing a lot of attention to the city. So for me to say I was from St. Louis gave it a lot more bigger stuff for black people, because baseball.
True.
want to. But St. Louisans did. So for me to represent that, I think it just brought a lot more attention to the game. The rest of the people on the team, people like Ray and all those folks, that was like that was like an exciting time over there. Ray Lathan was a little young for that team, though. Was he on that team? He might not be on that team. Yeah, he might be on it. Was Ray Lathan on that team?
Ray was on. I think Ray was on that team. We had Ray. Brian Jordan was on that team.
Brian Jordan was Roy.
BJ. Yeah.
BJ, So, but I remember going to
and also.
Going to Chicago. I mean, you had to go to Chicago for that too. Like being in another city where you had to be putting on right there. We had to rep hard though. That's all I remember. Was like had to pull up in Chicago. These red hats be everywhere. They like, yo, y'all out of control.
It's the same way. And I know our matches with every time we play against Chicago, like even if it's here, we got so many people come down from the shot. Like downtown be filled with Chicago Cub fans, which is real crazy. You know what I mean?
I try to tell somebody. I try to tell somebody like
in Chicago.
It's one of the best. It's truly one of the best comedy towns in the world. I feel like that's why so many people do their specials there. You think about all the comedians that came out of there, legendaries. Bernie Mac, of course, late Robin Harris, but. Damon Williams, George Wilborn, Tony Schofield. I just name Dale Givens, just legends out of there. D-Ray, all the young dudes, D-Ray and Hannibal and Lil Rail, all these little young guys, man, they put on, man. So it was one of those cities that we used to go, and you knew that if you can rock a Chicago audience, then you pretty much can do the world. So that was like, that was one of them cities. I was telling people all the time, like, for us, that was our Vegas. Like, if you live in L.A., that quick little 4-hour trip or 1-hour flight to go kick it. For people in the Loop, we're going to Chicago. Like, we got the weekend off. We going to Chicago. We're going to turn up. It's going to be lit. It's going to be this. That was it.
I try to explain our relationship to people with Chicago. It's like that rival cousin that you go to the family reunion. Y'all family, but you always... y'all family when y'all everywhere else, but at the family reunion, y'all going against each other at everything.
Yeah.
Because we love to kick it. I never forget, like, one of the first times we went to Cancun, Mexico, and we were just putting out Country Grammar. And it was us, and we ran into, like, 20 or 30 brothers from Chicago. And we was all like family while we was out the town. You know what I mean?
And for sure.
I wind up seeing them. And then I wind up getting to know them and seeing them when I went up to Chicago, and they had Cubs hats on, and we was instant rivals. You know what I mean?
Flat out.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
So let me ask you this: did you go to any of the games in '90? Did you get a chance to go to any of the games in '98? I never got a chance to get to none of the games in '98.
I think we was touring
up close.
I think we was touring hard during that time, and I didn't get a chance to go to none of the games then. I think it was a game where Sammy Sosa, I think I was in the city when Sammy Sosa actually went over one of the first records or whatever, and I remember it was bubbling. So who got it first? Did Mark go first or Sammy?
Right. I think Mark broke the record. I think Sammy might have hit 60 first, maybe, but I think Mark actually broke the record. I think actually first.
I remember I was in Chicago. I was in Chicago when Sammy broke. It was some milestone at that time, and I just remember the city being super extra lit, and me having because he just had broke something, and it was like, ain't nobody gonna keep up with that. Y'all done, I was like, nah, bro.
Nah.
No.
Oh, they was driving hard. They was driving hard. Yeah. Nah, it ain't over. It ain't over. And Big Mac, and you know that old saying, chicks dig the long ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of miss that era and that energy of baseball a little bit more. I know the game has changed, and The good and the bad of that. The good and the bad of that was that the whole steroid thing that came out after that, and it kind of dampered a little bit of what was going on. But I mean, to be honest, I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, I played baseball for a long time, and I played on a high enough level that I played with a lot of people. I was in a couple of camps with Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard used to be first baseman for the Phillies. Me and him was in a few tryout camps here in St. Louis together, and we could always tell the people that was kind of taking performance enhancements. You kind of looking at them like he knows he didn't come out his mama looking like that.
For sure, for sure.
But I mean, I guess it just was what it was. But I guess you got to do what you need to do to clean up the game. But again,
then when you think about
go ahead.
You think about it coming off a strike, it was a lot of things that they needed to do to get fans back to the game. And though you don't really, you want to put an asterisk on the steroid years or whatever, but, like say for any sport, pitching and home runs is why you go. Like you want to see strikeouts and you want to see home runs. Exactly. And so the pitchers, they had just the same chance.
They was on it too.
You talking about Clemens, them, dog? They was come on, man.
Yep.
So I mean, you're right. Like the core of it, but it was all about getting people's interest back in the game. And so, like for one level, I go like, I get like it feel like people on them, they on the steroid of it all. But you think that you still got to have hand-eye coordination. You still got to be able to contact the ball at a certain time. It's still a skill set that's required there. I ain't gonna, justify it all, but No.
I don't think you justify it. I mean, you stating facts. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
As many people that was on it, it was way more people that was on it that didn't make it, and that's what a lot of people have to know too. Like, I don't care what you do. If you can't hit the ball, you can't hit the ball. It don't.
Right.
It don't matter.
Yeah, there's somebody who use steroids and then it don't work for them, though, man. They just sit around big and hit. Ain't sitting up
He just big for nothing.
Yeah, man, that little thing is shrunk up everything, man. You can't even hit. Like, get off the steroid, boy. Get back to your normal self.
Yeah. Hey, come on over here and work the door at this club for me. You're all big.
Big, just big for nothing, man. Get the...
No, definitely, man. I know we about to lead up. We got about 5 more minutes before they start the long gone on ESPN on the 30 for 30, the long gone summer. I want to thank you for kicking it with me, my brother.
Yeah, man.
And it's love. We got to connect.
Yeah, man.
Soon. I see.
Let's do it, man. No doubt. Always great seeing you, whatever we do. And as always, love, we always check in with people. Like, that's the one thing that people, ask each and every, you holler at Nelly? I mean, yeah, man, we check in on each other, man. It's a very real St. Louis thing, man. So that's 100, though, bro.
I'm going to tell everybody, get ready for the Sad and Nelly podcast show coming soon to Lou.
Hey, I like it. Let's get it.
All right, man, bro. So, talk to you in a minute. I'm gonna let them go because I know they got to get this thing going on, my brother.
Yeah.
You got anything that you want to shout out before we head up? Besides the greatest show on television in the neighborhood.
Yeah. We coming back for a 3rd season. Excited about it. We'll be back after the COVID calm down. Everybody start shooting again. I am gonna shoot some more of those specials that I did. The greatest home. I'll do coming this summer. Just think that, but y'all check me out. Check me out on.
Nope, bro. Okay, y'all. I appreciate you, OG. Make sure y'all check out Seth, and we keep I
holler. Yeah.
Peace.